All right, welcome back to Scavenger Workshop. When we last left off, we were 3D printing C3po's head, and we intentionally orientated the head in such a way that when we printed it face down on the actual print bed, it left a lot of stuff right here on the forehead. So we're gonna continue where we left off and print the rear part of the head in a similar way. We're just gonna make one change in the settings, and we're gonna see how that impacts the actual print. Now, before we get started, I wanna let you guys know I am not an expert at 3D printing. I know very little, just enough to get by. My prints usually turn out really damn good because I've took a lot of time to flatten that layer and do the settings so that way it leaves very little print lines. So if you guys, if one of you guys out there are an expert at 3D printing and know all the settings and what everything does, if you want to join the Scavenger podcast so that way you can hang out with me and we can go over through some of those different things, feel free to reach out to me. Until then, I'm just going to plug along and show you what I know. So let's go ahead and import the rear head. Where is it? Raw files. C3po head. And like I said, we're going to arrange it in a similar fashion to what we were doing before. The only difference is we're gonna change one little setting to see if we can improve the way it turns out. Because let's see here, okay. Touching, so that's touching there. There we go. So let's see. Let's go ahead and render that and see if we get it within the boundaries. I doubt it. We're probably going to have a toolpath error, but let's see if we can squeeze it in here. I have done it before. I've gotten it in there, so it's just a matter of just angling it in a good orientation. See, it's gonna hit right here. So, and there's some settings you can do. You can remove that little line, that border it puts in there. That's completely unnecessary. That just lets you know where the print area is gonna be. So that's not needed. But let's see if we can just leave it there and get it to where it needs to be. Looks like that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I think this is going to do it. All right. All right. So we have it within the boundaries. I know I use a lot of scaffolding and whatnot, but that's just the way I am. I'm not concerned with how much filament I use. It's more important to me that the end result is very strong, and I have enough walls to sand away so that way there's no print lines. I do not like print lines. I think it looks horrible when you throw some paint over it and you can glaringly see the lines, And I'm going to show you guys how to remove those lines quickly where you're not spending hours and hours on printing. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, and the key is to use a sander that has an adjustable, orbital sander that has a little knob on it where you can slow it down, right? Because if it's running at high RPMs, it heats the plastic and plastic melts, and you're in trouble. You'll lose print. But I will show you where I got my sander from, and there's possibly some other ones out there that we can look at and see what works best. So we have it orientated. So what I'm going to do is, last time we printed this bad boy directly on the print bed, like that, right? And it left a really nasty area on the forehead. And I showed you guys how I clean that area up, you know. I used 4 print walls on this just to give me enough area to sand away. And I'm going to do the same with this, but this time we're going to go into the support material and we're going to add 2 layers of raft. All right, so go ahead and do that, and then it's going to re-render. All right, and then now when you look at your legend over here, you're going to see that there's going to be a lot less overhang and whatnot than there was previously. All right, come on, finish. Right, so it's very minimal, the overhang. It's not a whole lot of that. So when we slide this down, right, and we look at it all the way at the bottom, we'll see that it's actually starting directly on the raft. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and save this, export this, and print it out, and I'm gonna get back with you guys and show you how it turned out. And then we'll clean up this piece, right? And a couple of the, and like I said, normally for these type of pieces, I would just slice this in half and print them, you know, on the cut end upright, and they would come out perfect. I would just glue the 2 pieces together and be done. But I want to show you guys different things and on how I've started, what I've learned, and then how I've fixed that stuff. So in some of the future videos, I will also show you how, like when I do the entire leg, I'm going to show you how I slice the leg and arrange those parts as well. So I will get back to you once this is done printing, and we'll go from there. All right, we are back. Previously, when we printed the first part, of the head, we printed directly on the bed, and as you can see in the previous video, there was a lot of damage done to the forehead, and I showed you guys how to fix that. In this one, what we did was we put a 2-layer raft underneath it, and we wanted to determine whether that would improve the print any. So we're going to go ahead and take this off and see how this turned out. All right. All right, so there's still quite a bit of rough area right here, as you can see. So it didn't majorly improve it any, so it still looks like the best way to print these things is just to slice it and then print it upright on either end. Slice it in half and print it on, and just glue it. So I think going forward, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, it doesn't look like the raft helped a whole lot. I mean, it looks a little better than what it did previously, but still there's gonna be a lot of work that's gonna need to be done here, just like we had to do with the first part. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up, and in the next part we do, the next piece, we're definitely going to slice it in half, break into multiple pieces if we have to, or print it on a flat surface. All right, see you guys when I'm done. All right, so there's C3po's head finished. I did the same process I did in the first video when I did the front of his head. When you're doing your detail sanding and whatnot, don't really focus too much on the print lines in these corners here, these little edges. because if you can't get to them with sandpaper, chances are when they're cleaning the protocol droid, there'll probably be a lot of dirt and grime in there left behind because you're not going to get a rag in there to clean them. So later on, once you chrome this bad boy, I will be going back and putting some dirt and grime in all these little crevices that I can't reach with sandpaper. So this center area, I didn't even bother removing the print lines off of it because that area right there, there's going to be a greeble that covers that. And I think I will do the next episode on 3D printing the greebles, so that way you guys can see how we do that. I'm going to try something new. It's called ironing, which means on the top surface, the print head makes another pass over it, ironing out the print lines. We're going to try that and see how that works out. So if you guys are enjoying these little tips and tricks, please like and subscribe to videos, and join our group, Scavenger Workshop, on Facebook. Now, for all the little pieces like these, right, I'm really not going to bother doing any sort of tutorial on these. These are pretty straightforward. Just throw them on a printer, and they fit rather nicely, and they print rather nicely, so not much you need to do for that, right? But when we get into the big pieces, like the legs, which of course won't fit on this tiny little printer I have, so I'm going to slice those up and show you how I do it. The chest piece, the back piece, the shorts, all that's coming in the future, so stay tuned. Till next time, peace out.